something that I want to talk about is so back in NXT Black and Gold, one of my favorite NXT factions of all time don't get their flowers. They were called Sanity. So it was Foyer Sultan, Sawyer Fulton, who got kicked out because he was like the the fifth member. So there was Alexander Wolf, which was my personal favorite, Eric Young, Killian Dane, and his wife, Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross, she would occasionally do her own thing and, scare people. And I remember sometimes she'd be like, Nikki wants to play. And then she'd have, like good stuff like that, because NXT has always been better than the main roster since it came out after the reality show phase. But it's really sad that sometimes I'll be watching a Wyatt Sick6 promo of Bo Dallas trying his best to be his brother, but Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy's nothing compared to The Fiend or Bray. And then I'll just see like all of them and I forget that Nikki's there. I'll be watching the match and I'm looking at ringside, and it takes for me to see her interfere in the match to even remember that she's part of the group or even that she's signed to a WWE contract. And her being one of my favorites back in the day, even when she was on the, she had her run on the Indies as Nikki Storm, and then she came to WWE's Nikki Cross, and she was, I'm Nikki Cross. She'd have the, she was so cool, man. She was so cool. It's really unfortunate how things turned out. And then Sanity went to the main roster, got ruined, then they separated them. But then before they separated the faction, they had The Miz single-handedly take out all of the members, and I was so angry. Like, I remember I was in middle school when that happened. Bro, I was having a terrible time in middle school. And I'm trying, because Sanity was brought to SmackDown Live. So they were in the tag division with the New Day and the Usos. And I just remember Sanity being so, like, they never even had a chance. Sanity had so much potential. They were my favorite faction. Besides the Shield, Sanity was my favorite faction at that point. And to see them be so misused, misrepresented, it really broke me as a fan at that time, because this is 2019. So WWE in 2019, like, if you had hopes that it was going to get better, it wasn't. But to see Shane McMahon and The Miz have their build, and then have Sanity, every member being taken out single-handedly by The Miz, out of all people, that was crazy. I'm just like, wow, they actually did that. And it just reminded me of how Obafemi, now I know Obafemi and The Miz ain't, and in the same ballpark when it comes to taking out people, but the way Obafemi ripped through the War Raiders, who were multi-time tag champions and two legit heavyweights, that made zero sense, and that did nothing for them. So now they're ruined forever because we can't take them serious. It's just unfortunate how Sanity, but Nikki Cross, I think she was a really important asset to Sanity. So, and then after they ruined Sanity and botched that and had everyone gone, they had Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss. That was that was all right. And then they had Nikki ASH, Nikki Almost a Superhero, and that was so garbage and terrible, horrible, and stupid and a waste of time, because they should have just let Nikki Cross be herself, because Nikki Cross is really talented, and I enjoy Nikki Cross. I enjoy her more when she's a psychopath and crazy and trying to rip people's hair out and slam them into the mat. That's my favorite version of Nikki Cross, the unhinged Nikki Cross. And then, when the Wyatt Sick6 was revealed and Chad Gable was laying there like he caught the fade, and and the whole production booth back in Gorilla was all torn up and everything. Like that was so cool, and everybody was laid out. That was awesome. And then I see Nikki Cross, put the lantern on the announce table and scare people, or even like deliver a box to the commentary table. And Michael Cole is horrified as to what's in there. That was really nice. That was really cool. And then she didn't. I don't think she's had any matches since. I don't think she's had many matches since she's joined the Wyatt Six. I'm trying to think, but I can't really think of any. It's I don't know, man. I feel like they really dropped the ball with Nikki Cross, because the Wyatt Six is already boring as it is. They don't really do anything for me personally, or the MFTs. So to see Motor City Machine Guns and see DIY, oh well, that's too late. See, all of these other amazing tag teams never get TV time because we're focused on this one story that gets zero reaction from the crowd or the people at home simultaneously. It's honestly ass backwards. And I think that is ass backwards because you give TV time to something that's not going to work. You give some TV time to Bloodline 5.0 versus a bootleg Wyatt family that shouldn't even be considered in this, because the Wyatt Six had a lot of potential, but then they ended up losing to the Final Testament in a boring rivalry that could have been good. And then then over time, more and more members of Final Testament began to be fired and released. And now their leader, Karrion Kross, is MLW world champion. So I think that didn't age well. It should have just let the Wyatts go over. But then you had Uncle Howdy lose by baby powder, like a Bret Hart. It makes zero sense. I think I don't know. Like the Wyatt Six thing, just like they're the least exciting thing on SmackDown, and I just think that Nikki Cross, I just think that she's been done beyond dirty. For me to watch a show every week and forget that she signed. The only time I think remember she signed is on the entrance, during their entrance, and she doesn't do anything. She's got all that talent, and the thing is, WWE will sit there and waste you, not even have an idea. But these stars don't get younger. It's not like these stars are Raj Al Ghul having access to the Lazarus pit. These people's bodies are being destroyed on a weekly basis, taking bumps for our entertainment, and at least you can, and you can't even do the bare minimum with Nikki Cross. Have her in a match on TV. Remind the crowd she exists. Remind the crowd she even works for the company. But nah. The only time that we're reminded is during live events when she's playing to the crowd, and we don't even see those. But I don't know, man. It's something that has been bothering me for a hot minute. Nikki Cross has been done downright dirty is an understatement. Muy sucio. Let me know what you think down in the comments, though. I mean, do you think Nikki Cross deserves better? Do you think that they're doing all they can with Nikki Cross? Let me know what you think down in the comments. It's so sad, bro, because, NXT Black and Gold Nikki Cross was a different breed. I remember she just come down, running to the ring, pulling her hair, and clapping and doing the crisscross applesauce in the middle of the ring. That was cool, but I don't know what they got her doing now, because it's nothing. They got her doing nothing. That's so unfortunate, bro. She's got so much to offer. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments about everything I said. Till next time, see you. That took way too. That was a long pause. Probably clicked off the video by now.